So I've finished my call with Marlies and I now want to make summarize those into highlights and actions. So you can see it's moved from recently added into completed. I'll go into the completed folder and I'll click on that meeting. When I go into there, you can see that all the transcript just appears, which is fantastic. And I can go through and I marked that as an interesting point. That was also interesting. I've also made some good points down here as well. So what's great is that now all these really key points are marked. I can actually start to build my highlights or summaries, which I've actually started to do. So if I go into the highlights, I've already dragged these over from the transcript. So what happens is you click on the three dots and I can add that to my highlights and summaries. So it's really, really super easy. So I'll go back into my highlights. I can see here I've got some here and there's a new one there. So yeah, there's a new highlight, but I'll probably delete that one but you can just clean it up. So I've got one here, I can edit it and clean it up. I've also got my actions, so I made these points during the phone call. You can see here I've allocated them to either me or Marlies. You can also search actions, so if you've got a big meeting and lots of actions, you can search them to find out what they are, or you can filter them by the person. So I can go back and filter those by me, and I can see very clearly what I need to do. The other great thing now and in notes as well. So I took some notes and I might actually want to drag those over into my actions or my highlights, or I can delete it or edit it as well. So it really just depends on what's important to me. But these things are all about dragging it into your highlights and summaries. Now, because this is part of a project, what becomes really interesting is I can start to tag up these insights. So this project's called Finance Updates. I'll click through. You can see here now in this one project, I've completed one conversation. I've got a new one coming up later. Here are the summary of all the highlights from that project to date, which was a little bit like what we used to have in Wow Moments. And you can start to see these blue boxes is me starting to tag these things. So I can actually edit the highlights, which also edits it throughout the whole system, but I can actually start to add a tag. And this really becomes sort of the beginning of your project insights, really. I've already set these up: financial governance, extra funds, business development, and I can do another one called, let's call it cash flow because it's a finance project. And I'll add that one there. And then when I go to here, I might actually add cash flow to this one because that actually is also about cash flow. So here I might talk about that. Oh, that's extra funds. Brilliant. Now what starts to happen, which is fantastic, is all of these are starting to be compiled. So here we go in the project insights section. We can start to see how we're compiling these already. And as you finish each conversation and you summarize your highlights, you can go in as you go and start to tag these things so that when you do these big projects and you need to develop those insights from there, or those key big thoughts that come out of it, you can actually do it really easily in the platform and then transport them to where you need to go. You can also give your financial governance a short summary about what that particular insight was about. Thank you.